Social media is not just a component for your communications or an aid for fundraising or even a part of your marketing. It is where communities, and both communities that are really small and niche and also really big and global, are coming together to share everything about what they're doing. Both, you know, pictures of their kids or planning their next trip, but also sharing how they want their world to be and looking for people that can help them change the world into that vision. So if organizations want to be connecting with those people and part of those conversations and part of shaping all those plans, social media is where they can do that. So it goes far beyond just a communications channel or just a marketing avenue. It actually can be the foundation of how you're meeting your mission with the community. I think there's two major areas where organizations can hit trouble. The first is not taking the time to know where their community even is online, and so they get involved or start doing things that are maybe not very strategic or misguided because they didn't research to see if the community was even there, and they've, you know, built shop in a town without anybody, essentially. So that's the first trouble. And then the second, kind of back to the first question, is when organizations approach social media like another broadcast channel, like another marketing stream, instead of recognizing that the power is in connecting there. Well, I think it's a little tricky in that, you know, at the end of the day, we're not going to change our local community, we're not going to change policy, we're not going to change the world only online. We have to make action offline, but online we're able to keep people engaged, keep people informed, and keep building a movement in between those opportunities for offline action. So it's really important that we don't just think specifically about how we're working online or how we're working offline, but we're constantly working to bring the two together so that people that are coming together offline know how they can get connected to the larger movement online, and vice versa. Those that are, you know, finding your Facebook page or signing up for your e-newsletter know that there's more than just following along online to get involved. I think it's definitely going to be social CRM. There's so much out there right now that isn't necessarily on our own website or on a place where we've plugged our Google Analytics in, and when we don't have that same analytical insight, often organizations don't have the capacity to figure out or, you know, ad hoc their own method for analysis and tracking. That's not to say they can't. A lot of people that are doing it now have, you know, built their own spreadsheet and try and track things by hand, or counting, you know, replies that say something good on Twitter by hand, which isn't very sustainable and takes a lot of time, but it just shows how important we know tracking is and how important that data can be when we're trying to evaluate what we're already doing and plan for what we want to do next. So I really think that social CRM, where we can integrate that kind of tracking into our database and how we're already tracking things, is really going to be both a big hit to the sector, but also a really important addition. I would say it just takes 30 minutes every day. You know, you don't even have to do it on the weekends. I just mean, you know, 30 minutes a day of your work day to get started in a successful, valuable way. There's research that supports just doing 30 minutes a day gives you just as much effort as if you were doing 2 hours a day, so long as you're being strategic. And so the first step is to analyze where your community is, map them out, see which tools different segments are using, and then to also map out your content. See what kinds of pieces of content you have, or maybe have stored up for the last 5 years and didn't realize you had all of these amazing video interviews or something. And then once you have those two things mapped, you can much more easily see, here's a group of people within our larger community and they'd be interested in this content we already have. let's look at the tools they're using and see how we can get that content into that space. And it just helps you focus those 30 minutes a day. And I can share with you as a link to share with the video, or just say the link now, but if you just search for my name in DIY metrics, there are free templates and stuff to use to help you do that mapping.